Boom, boom. Yeah, it's ITJ. I actually used to think that engaging an attorney or anyone to do with the law, sure, those people are extremely expensive. That's what I used to think, right? And is it possible actually for me, like I'm Joe Sop, man. I like how best can I afford a lawyer? Now, if you're asking yourself that question and you don't actually have a lawyer that you engage on issues of real estate, I'm going to tell you that you're playing in hot soup that is on a boiling pot. I did say that. I do real estate all the time. And everything around real estate, it revolves around a lawyer. Now, I'm going to share with you guys around about 7 reasons why actually I do have or I hire an attorney. Actually, I've been privileged that I do not hire attorneys anymore because I do have a partner who's an attorney. So for that reason, I kind of like, she's my business partner. Everything I do, she has an interest in it. But before you get to actually have a partner who's an attorney, how best can you actually make sure that you are hiring them for the right reasons? Why would you? And I'm going to share with you my 7 reasons why I actually hire an attorney. The first one, it's a default reason. It's a no-brainer reason. It is the fact that, remember, there are things you cannot do on your own in a transaction of real estate. So you can't take transfer on your own. Neither can you produce your own guarantees, right? So for that reason, it's kind of like default that whether you like it or you don't, you are going to hire an attorney. So for me, on that reason alone, I find it difficult for me to just be hiring an attorney who's been appointed by the seller and I'm paying for them. I'm more comfortable there. It's like, I mean, that's the reason why I didn't go through like arranged marriage. Like, she's my wife here and my mom and father are going to be appointing, like, there's your wife. No, there's no love there. I know you're going to grow to love it. No. No. You see, that thought kind of like just doesn't work. That's the way I see it, right? So what am I saying here? I am saying that when you are engaging with an attorney, you need to find that attorney. You need to be comfortable with that attorney. Well, not all the times you are not going to get it so that the attorney, your attorney, is chosen for the transaction. But by no other reason, make sure that your attorney is chosen. So find reasons, right? Cook it up so that your attorney is the best one that is going to be chosen for any transaction. So that's my first reason. My first reason is, there are certain things that you can't do. So it's a default. By default, you're going to have an attorney anyways. My second reason is that most people, should I say, it's not even most people. The fact of the matter is that attorneys are potentially, I think, on the top 5 professionals in terms of being trusted in the land, together obviously with people of faith, accountants, and all of those people. That's why when you need a commissioner of oath, you either go to the police station or to a lawyer, isn't it? So why wouldn't you not hire a trusted profession? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you want to do a transaction with an attorney? Why wouldn't, on your phone, why wouldn't you have at least 3 attorneys that you know, not the company that you know, like John Brown from Brown Attorneys, right? And you know John, like you, right? And I'm saying this especially if you are serious in the property space. You need to know those kind of people, right? Why do you need to know them? They are the most trusted people around. So if they're the most trusted people around, why would you want to hang out with trusted people? There's some deals that also flow within the attorneys and things like that, like deceased estates and things like that. If you are in the company, that's when you're going to get those deals. All right? Point number 3 is that obviously if you're a lawyer, right? And this is not an obvious actually for many lawyers, but if you're a lawyer, or should I say, the reason why I actually hire a lawyer is the fact that I know for a fact that the attorneys that I'm going to be hiring are good attorneys. And whether you want to believe it or not, within the law itself, there are some loopholes. Now, if you are doing a deal, it's a complicated deal. What kind of loopholes can we utilize in here? The do's and the don'ts, what you shouldn't be doing, what you should do for this type of a transaction so that it goes smooth and you are protected, the seller is protected, the money is protected. And all of this is all cooked up by this person here who's an attorney. Why wouldn't you not hire an attorney? Why would you want to go and deal on your own? Sign a contract without your attorney knowing about it? Why wouldn't you? Now, these loopholes that I talk about, the do's and the don'ts, they are not in that contract. So all of a sudden, if you get in hot soup, who's going to protect you? They are going to protect you after math. And aftermath is not a good one because you might have lost or you might have left some money on the table. That's all I'm saying here. My point number 4. They are well trained. They are well-trained mediators. They are well-trained in terms of putting structures together. They are well-trained like in the whole sphere of just managing deals and managing relationships. They know the do's and the don'ts. And for me, it's very important to actually understand such kind of people. So let me give you an example. You might be going through a deal, right? And all of a sudden, things are not going so well. I am happy to pull my card and let's meet at the attorney. And at the attorney, right, you need to be getting there and engage your attorney. Say, this is the deal. This is what's happening with those people. And this is what I'm saying. What do you think is the best route? And obviously within that meeting, they mediate for you to get a win-win. And obviously they then put the contract together, and obviously it's a safer environment for both the seller and the buyer. Why wouldn't you do that? I'm just asking. Now you're seeing the power of an attorney, isn't it? Now you're seeing that paying for the price of an attorney might be high, but you're getting your money's worth here, man. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't do a deal without an attorney. Seriously. My next point is that naturally, the way I've seen, and this is just my point of view, a lot of attorneys are risk averse. What do I mean by that? Each time I've gone out to my attorney, I'm like, I want to do this, I want to do this. They're like, what about? They kind of raising up all sorts of alarms, yeah, TJ, you can't do that. And my general question that I have, I've got one statement question, is why? Which is followed up by a statement of how can we do it? So I understand. So because they are risk averse, if you're maybe potentially, like me, someone who likes to take risk from time to time, and if you're like me and then you take that risk, or you're taking, regular risk all the time, you do need someone else on your team who's going to kind of pull you back a little bit. I'm like, whoa, that is not supposed to be done that way. And if you ask the question why, then they tell you because of A, B, C, D, and you ask the following question, which is, how can I do it? Then they say, this is how it's done. Does it still follow? Yes. If it does follow, then out of that, you've got a deal. So someone who's risk averse is also good in your team. And by nature, attorneys, obviously, because of everything else that they see every day, of all the cases that happen every day, obviously they tend to be risk averse. And I like that. I personally like that. Because sometimes you can be a wild cat on your own. That's the reality. The 7th thing is that sometimes, or not say sometimes, but the 7th thing that I want to speak about on why you should hire an attorney is that these people have been trained to structure deals. What do I mean by structuring deals? To put the structure I'm going back to the term structure. Like, what kind of a contract would be needed here? What kind of a company should, or not a company, but what kind of an entity should we be doing this deal in? And what are the pros and the cons of doing? So that's the whole structuring that I'm talking about. So now if you've got an attorney that you hire, right? And for me, it's a partner, but that you hire, someone who's going to be able to tell you when you're about to do a deal that this is the right structure to do it, so that the seller is protected, so that you, the buyer, are protected, and the money itself is protected. Why wouldn't you want to engage someone like that on your team, working for you? So remember, attorneys are kind of like, pay as you go, right? You can have a relationship where you have a retainer. I'm not even at that level, but I know some of my other bros who are a little bit, ahead of me. They do what is called a retainer. So a retainer is, they've got an attorney that they work with, and every month is a 20 grand, boom. And they get 5 hours of work every week or something like that. I don't know. You know what I mean? But for many that I know, most attorneys are kind of like on a pay as you go. So you need a contract done, there you are, you pay it. You need a mediation done, there you are, you pay it. But can your deal carry that? And if the answer is yes, why wouldn't you do it? You want him to save so that you make more profit. My guy. What about if you save and then on the services of the attorney and you lose? I'm just saying. But anyway, don't be like that guy, ne? Hire an attorney. I have one now that was a partner. It's up to you. I'm just telling you. But if this information has been great to you, and if this is something that you enjoy listening to, I'm going to say that even if you haven't subscribed, now's the time to subscribe. And over and above that, don't forget that there is more value in other videos that we have done. So I'll check you out on the next video. Cheers. Bye.